A big day means we need to bring in the big guy. KCCI's political analyst Dennis Goldfort here with us to talk more about the president's speech tonight.
And Dennis, we listened to the hour-long speech from the president together with you. Did you feel like his speech was speaking to all Americans?
Not really. I think it was a very political speech. The president, of course, as head of state, speaks for all Americans, but the president's also head of government, a partisan political figure, any president. And President Trump, of course, kept talking about radical left Democrats, radical left lunatics. He attacked former President Biden several times, went after former President Obama, including the incoming mayor of New York City. So this was very political, touting his accomplishments as he sees them, of course, but very political in the sense of not trying to speak to a broader sense of we're all Americans.
Speaking of touting an accomplishment, the president spent about the first 30 minutes of his speech tonight talking about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. That, of course, passed the House earlier today. It will be on his desk for him to sign most likely tomorrow. How big of an accomplishment is that for the president, especially to get it signed by, or I guess passed by his self-imposed deadline of July 4th?
Right. Well, he imposed that deadline himself, as you said. But yeah, this is very big. It's his major policy proposal, at least thus far, into his administration. It passed in both the House and the Senate by very narrow margins, so it wasn't overwhelmingly, but a pass is a pass. Its supporters think it's going to do wonderful things for the country. Its opponents fear that it will do terrible things for the country. We'll find out.
Tonight, the president said he came back to Iowa to fulfill a promise to Iowans. He said he loves this state, loves the people. He actually also gave shout outs to each congressman and woman from Iowa. We have that. Let's take a listen really quickly.
Governor Kim Reynolds from Iowa. Thank you, Kim. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And Lieutenant Governor Chris Cornyer. Where's Chris? Chris Cornyer. Thank you, Chris, very much. Great job. You have Senator Chuck Grassley and Joni Ernst. Chuck! Hi, Chuck.
And he went on for quite a while, naming every Iowan in Congress as well. What do you make of that, Dennis?
Well, particularly as he named people in the state legislature and the governor, lieutenant governor. This is the political equivalent of passing out popsicles at a children's daycare. It doesn't cost you anything, and you make a lot of kids happy and grateful to you. And so this is what he did with those particular politicians.
A pretty big deal, too, if you're one of those politicians getting that popsicle, so to speak, that the president called you out. Dennis, we have a little bit of time left. Okay. Just kind of want to get your closing thoughts on what we saw here in Des Moines today.
We saw a president who feels empowered by his election. We saw a president who feels empowered by the passage of his bill. It's Donald Trump's Republican Party. Republicans, a lot of them talk about being concerned about this or that aspect of his program. They end up falling in line, almost all of them. So he can take great accomplishment, a great sense of accomplishment in knowing that it's his political party for good or for ill, depending upon your political perspective.
Yeah. He did have quite a crowd today.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He's a consummate entertainer. He did that during the caucuses when he first ran in 2015 and 2016. And so this is the kind of speech that he loves to give. It sort of rambles. He calls it the weave, but it's more rambling, almost sounds like stream of consciousness. But he's got some jokes, one-liners, and the folks out there love listening to it. And as we talked about once before, I think they listen more to the music than the words. They didn't want detailed policy prescriptions and descriptions. They wanted a sense that here's somebody who understands us, who will speak up for us. That's the core of the Trump base.
And the people out there today who love us because, Trump started it with "We love Iowa," been successful here. And I'm sure he's leaving today thinking it was a success as far as the people that came out to hear what he had to say and that he delivered on that. Dennis Goldfort, thank you so much,
Sure,
as always, for the analysis.
Yes, Dennis, thank you so much.